Yeah.
So we do all of these things to ourselves, and then you look at it, you go, my gosh, almost 80% of the calories in the standard American diet, which we know is abbreviated SAD, 80% of the calories in the standard American diet come from those four foods. And then you inject them with hydrogenated oils and coat them with sugar or aspartame and MSG, and you wonder why kids are dropping dead at 19 of heart attacks.
Very well put. Yeah, it's amazing that this isn't not a topic that's more taught in school. That this is not something that's more focused on the impact that food plays on human health and human disease.
And we'll get to that point, like we were talking about before. We'll see that day. But the phenomenal thing is, when I saw all of this stuff, and I started going back to the guys that taught me in veterinary school, and I went to an orthopedic seminar that was being put on by the guys who taught me orthopedics in veterinary school, but are now in private practice. And they're up there showing all these juvenile bone diseases in dogs: hip dysplasia, united elbow processes, osteochondritis dissecans of the shoulder and the knee, and all this kind of stuff, which are all collagen disorders. They're all in the same boat. They all are exactly the same disease, just in different joints. And they're going, well, we don't know, but we're finding that adult dog foods are better for these dogs than puppy chows. And I'm back there sitting in the back row, squirming like a 4-year-old who has to go to the bathroom, because I want to jump up there and take the microphone out of his hand and say, we know exactly why this is happening, guys, because puppy chows are the worst dog food ever made for dogs, because they make puppy chows by taking an adult dog food, which already has grains in it, and putting more grains in it to accommodate the growing dog. They're not going to put more meat in there, but they're going to put more corn, more wheat, more soy, these things in the dog food to accommodate the energy the dog needs. The puppy chows are the absolute worst dog food that we can start our dogs out on, and so no wonder their skeletons are falling apart, and they're having allergies at classic allergies now at 3 months of age, where they say it used to take 3 years for those things to develop, inhalant allergies, and they're coming apart at the seams. This is no mystery at all. Once we have this little piece of information that you're sharing and that I'm trying to share, is that guess what? These big four foods are killing us all, and these kids meals. I almost said a proper name. I try to avoid that in interviews, but these kids meals that kids are getting at fast food restaurants, my gosh, what do we expect? We're stuffing them with cheeseburgers and potato sticks that are deep fat fried in hydrogenated oils, and giving them a sugary drink, and wondering why they have autism and epilepsy and learning disabilities and ADHD and they can't seem to shake that cold that they get, and so it's so simple that it boggles the mind. But in fact, it's I can't tell. It's like a bad dream sometimes, isn't it, Peter? But at least it's turning into a good dream, because we know all of this stuff now, and people are waking up. And I really believe we've hit the trough. That our kids' generation, my kids' generation, and those that have followed them a little bit by a few years, this is the sickest generation we'll ever see. Now that we know what you and I know, then we're going to turn this boat around. Yeah,
that's definitely the plan. So, wheat, corn, soy,
and dairy products are kind of the foods that you say, or that you find, that are highest in glutamic acid, that can create most of the villus atrophy, or the foods that can create the villus atrophy. That's right.
So let's take then the average person who's eating 70% of these things as staple foods in their diet, and let's change their diet. Let's talk about what you can eat.
Yeah, right. Okay, and that's good. And I've got a paper on my website because I always get that. Well, what in the world do I eat? Everybody says it the same way. What in the world do I eat? And you go, well, I just happen to have a paper titled exactly that on my website. And I go through my daily diet, but basically, because people are dumbfounded when you tell them that you can't eat those four things, it's like their mind goes blank, and that's really a bad sign. But you say, well, here's what I eat. I eat meats, eggs, fruits, nuts, berries, vegetables, lots of vegetables. If I want to have some carbohydrates, I eat some rice, I eat some potatoes and some sweet potatoes. although I'm kind of backing off on those. I don't really need those, and they help me maintain my weight. You know, and I eat a little dark chocolate. And I eat the grain substitutes. You know, there's this fabulous bread that I get. I'll go ahead and give them a plug because they're just awesome. I eat this bread out of Tampa by Symes Bakery. This millet and flax bread is some of the best stuff I've ever eaten, and they make it in a bunch of different varieties. And so I eat some bread and make some sandwiches. They make all sorts of desserts and muffins and all this kind of stuff. And so we are now finding some great things. I mean, we know Betty Crocker now has gluten-free cake mixes that you can buy at Walmart. You know, hallelujah. And so we're making the turn, and so there's a lot that we can eat. But when you tell somebody that you're not eating the big four, their mind goes blank because they're thinking of the pizza and the cheeseburgers and all the fast food. And I say, yeah, where are you going to go have fast food if I tell you can't eat those four things? And they go, well, we're not. I said, well, yes, you can actually. You can go to Wendy's. I'll give them a plug because they are trying to do some of the right stuff with their salads and stuff. You know, I say I go to Wendy's and I get a bunless, cheeseless burger. They serve it in a tray just like they do the salad. The first time I asked for it, they went, "What?" You know, but now they know me. They know my voice when I come up to the drive-thru. I'll have my usual, what I tell them, and I get a bunless, cheeseless burger. They dress it with, you know, lettuce and tomato and onions and ketchup and everything. And then I either get a salad or I get a plain baked potato. And I go to my office and I cut up the burger and I put it on either the salad or the baked potato and put a little ketchup on it, and that's my lunch. You know, so you can eat fast food. Some people are thinking, man, that sounds really gross. But, you know, it's either a loaded baked potato or a poor man's steak salad, however you want to look at it. You know, and then I eat a lot of the same thing at night. You know, I eat a fair amount of beef because chicken, you know, one thing that if we have time we can talk about, the what I call secondary glutenization. By eating the flesh of animals that are fed gluten, there's no question that that's happening, no doubt at all. And I'm an example of that. I was falling asleep after eating chicken, very much like after getting a dose of gluten. So I stopped eating chicken, and I don't do that anymore. And since I've stopped eating chicken, the clarity in my head and my energy during the day has gone up yet another notch.